Hello, it's Tess, and today's tip 444. And for those who I talked to yesterday, sorry about yesterday. I had some stuff going on in the morning, and then I fell asleep and didn't get a live in last night. But today I wanted to make sure I got back in here. And today, based on some things that I remembered yesterday, I wanted to share, like, with weight loss, when is it enough? What is the trigger? I know I've been asked that a lot in my journey. Doc B asks that a lot. And sometimes I try to identify what the thing was that pushed me over the edge. I guess really if I could even understand what allowed me to get to a BMI of 60. But what I'll say is that something that kind of came to me that I'll hold on to going forward is the idea of where I don't want to go or where I was headed, and I was so close to it that I didn't even realize I was close to it. And what I'm talking about is like disability, medical disability, possibly permanent medical disability. And the reason it came up is that we all know people in our lives who this is not an easy thing. It's not any kind of a judgment because it happens to everybody, not everybody, but there are things that people go through. But what it made me remember is there was a point in my journey where my doctor was talking to me about, and I didn't realize it until she had talked to me, but we were talking, and I had been going through some struggles, and it was more than just weight, because weight kind of contributed to some other issues. And things had started turning around for me, and she made a comment, and this was years ago. It's been over probably 20 years. And she said, "I'm glad I had considered talking to you about whether you were going to need a medical disability." Now, that's not a choice, and I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not giving anybody advice. But what it made me realize is that in my journey, I'd gotten so much farther down the path that other people were concerned about me in ways that I hadn't even seen yet. And I thought, why is it that I didn't see that? Why is it that I didn't see that I was in that much trouble? And it started making me think about, and my heart breaks for people that are struggling, because I don't want to see anyone struggle. But it made me realize that there's so much this world has to offer, and the losing the weight has opened up a bunch of doors for me, and they're doors that I don't ever want to close. Hi, Mary Lynn, good to see you. And it was thinking about, and like I said, it was something I didn't know about. I went into a doctor's appointment, and she was talking about, because I just kept going back and forth through some medical issues. And again, I'm not medical. I don't give medical advice. But also, like, weight contributed to it, and sometimes weight will cause different things. And I remember her talking to me about, at what point was it going to be, she was already in her mind thinking about, was it impacting me to where it was a disability? And I remember being shocked because I didn't recognize it like that. But again, I only had myself to compare it to, and I just kept moving forward. But it made me realize that there would have been so much that I would have lost if things hadn't have been able to be turned. And I know for some people they can't be turned. But if it's something that you can make a change in your life and you can open up doors for yourself, it is a beautiful life. The things that are available are amazing. And I know I've talked a lot about law of attraction, and I posted a book that we all shared, like positive things that we had been thinking about that came to pass, that are like manifestations. And I do have 2 short stories in the book. And but it made me realize how much I had to lose if I hadn't have taken control and got my thoughts back into a place to support me on making the changes that let my life move forward. And the thing that was pretty unusual to me is that I never realized I was far enough gone that my doctor was contemplating what my long-term future looked like. And I guess we should all realize that. And I guess that's what I really wanted to talk about today, because it hit home for me for a few different reasons yesterday, just in people that I ran across and things that people talked to me about, because people talk to me about different things now because they knew me when and they know me now. And it just made me realize that even that, like, I'm writing a book, and in writing the book, I want to touch on who I was and how I felt at that worst possible moment. Why is it, how is it that I was able to get to where I'm at now? And what am I going to do to keep moving it forward? Because in all honesty, I never, ever considered myself to be in jeopardy of a disability as a result of a weight gain. But why, I don't know, because it does impact all areas of your life. And it made me realize I always have to hold close to the idea that it can take away everything that you're working towards. It can take away your opportunities to be with people. It can take away your chances to make your life better. And I've told everyone that, since this time of COVID and since I've been able to do education online, it's like even saying that disabilities are connected to being unable to learn or to communicate or to hear. All of our senses, all of the things that kind of enrich life. And there are people that struggle without that every single day, and my heart breaks for those people. But in many cases, they weren't self-imposed by food. And that's where I always have to try to take control by the food end of it to make sure I don't go back down that path. I can remember being in a desperate point during that journey, and it's something that I don't ever want to have to visit again. So I guess really maybe the thing to think about for everybody is, when is it enough that you're going to take control and just change one thing? Just recently, I read in Doc V's challenge group, and it was kind of a beautiful story, but a woman posted about how she walks 15,000 steps a day, and she started a few months ago, and she's in an area with a bunch of hills and stuff. And the only thing she worried about changing was that one thing. She changed her steps, and she's increased her steps substantially because she found something that she loves, and she loves walking the trails. So now she's up to 15,000 steps a day and put on a dress she hasn't been able to wear for years and got that boost of feeling good about herself because everybody commented on how wonderful that dress looked on her. And it just made me realize, in my case, I never saw myself as headed in that direction. But what I have to remember is that if I can never end up down that path again, because I don't want to be facing those kind of decisions. So when is it enough? And I hope for all of you, if you're struggling with your journey, today it's enough so that you can take that one step. This woman was so excited. She made a public post, and she said she had never made a post before, just to share that starting with a few steps less than 6 months ago has allowed her to feel so much more joy and happiness in her life. And I think that's for all of us. All we need is that first little win after we've made that small change, and it propels us forward. There's way too much to lose by not trying to be the best person you can be for yourself. And the reason it's yourself is that we can't change other people. The only person we have any control over is us. But by changing ourselves to the best version of who we can be, that opens doors out so that if somebody wants a hand up, we can give that hand up. But it was really kind of awakening to me because I had forgotten. I think that's part of the problem with being 6 years post-surgical. It's easy sometimes to forget what it felt like when I was at the BMI of 60 and I was hopeless. Actually, even in that point in time, I wasn't even telling. And I see a few people on, so hello and thank you for being here. I'm going to say that I didn't even tell people where I was headed or what I was going to do because I didn't want the comments. That's another statement. Don't ask for other people's opinions or advice if you don't want to have to explain where you're headed. And at the point in time where I was getting ready for surgery, I just didn't tell people because so many people had the horror stories to tell me that I had already committed to it. I knew I was going to do it, and I didn't want the horror stories. So it kind of more or less is, if you're at that point and you're going to move forward and you're going to give it all you've got, sometimes you just don't want to have to explain it. If you know and you've got it all controlled, just move forward. Because it does go back to that same thing. There's only one person that we can change, and it's us. The other people, we don't need to tell them what to do because truthfully, we don't know what their journey is. If they reach out to us, we can give them that hand up, but we have to let them initiate the move. Otherwise, we may have caught them where they don't even realize or they're not open to hearing. And I think being the oldest grandchild, that was something I struggled with because I was groomed to oversee, and then by some point in time they didn't want it anymore, so I had to learn to pull back. But it made me think about it in what happened yesterday, that my journey could have looked a whole lot different because my doctor was already walking a path that I hadn't even seen yet, and that my life now has opened so many doors that I never dreamed were possible, things that I don't ever want to give up, and things that I want to continue to see get better. So for everybody out there, I guess that the woman that posted in one of the groups recently, it was just steps. All she did is improve her steps, and she's so excited about the changes she's seen in her life in a short span of time since the beginning of this year, that she was posting about how much healthier and how much better she feels. So it's not just me saying it, it's other people. One step has been enough for her to recognize a better life and to keep moving forward. And when is it enough to take that one step? And why isn't it enough to take that one step and give it a try and see where it will lead you? If I could let anybody have 5 minutes in what my life was before I started this journey and what it is now, I don't think there's anything that would make you turn back the other way, or at least for me, there's nothing that would want me to turn back the other way. And I know that I have to keep educating, I have to keep myself on top of it, and but be excited about it, because what has happened is it's created a really exciting journey for me. It's opened up doors that I thought that I either never even realized were an opportunity for me, or it's opened doors that are leading to a life that is pretty amazing. And I want to see that for everyone. So like I said, I had forgotten about it till a few things were said yesterday, but there was a point in time before I decided to go on this journey that even my doctor and I talked that maybe I wasn't ready for this journey yet. I had to work through the law of attraction things where I had to start to get a handle on how I felt about myself and what words I used with myself. And once I got that together, then we started down the journey to the weight loss surgery and to getting better health and to finding the mentors that would help me on the journey. That part of my journey continues to this day and will probably always continue because I need to continue to educate myself. But what I never realized until she told me at that point that we had the turning point is that she had already been considering whether I was going to be somebody who had to be medically disabled. And that was heartbreaking when I heard those words, and I completely forgot about them until I had connected with a couple of people yesterday. And it made me realize what a gift I've been given to have this opportunity to be looking back on 6 years that I've been improving my health, and that over the past couple of years, the doors open to let me experience life in a whole new way, experience things that I never thought were of interest to me, and to realize that it's just the beginning. I appreciate you all so much. And like I said, there is a book. Hi, Kieran. Good to see you. I think Mary's on there, and I think I saw Bev too. So hello, Beverly. So keep yourself open and keep yourself ready. I completely forgot that I was at a point where my doctor was already considering whether I would be able to continue to function without any form of a disability. I had already gotten that far. So I was able to catch it and turn it. That's not everybody. There are some that is not related to weight. But if you can think of just that one thing to change, like the woman said in one of the other groups, just grab that one thing, and it just might be that one step that takes you down a journey. And this journey for me is the most beautiful journey I've been on in a very long time. It's one I don't want to end. It's one I want to see everybody get to enjoy in their life. And I know it's just beginning, and that's what I want for everybody. If you get to, we don't always see, and maybe that's where I'm even thinking too, we don't always see that we're taking a hard right to a path that's going to be full of despair, woe, and hurt, when we can actually take the other path, the path, like V says, readjust your aim, and live that life where you have joy, excitement, happiness, and you're moving forwards towards something else. I don't ever want to see somebody going through pain or unhappiness. And what I didn't realize is that I lived in that place, but I didn't own it. I told myself I wasn't, so I believed I wasn't. So for all of you out there, you're worth it. It might be uncomfortable at first, but take that step, because my life is so much better. Well, hi, John Clark. And for all of you, I know your life can be so much better. Just take that one step. I had completely forgotten until a few things triggered the memory for me yesterday. It was at a point where my doctor was already concerned that I would not be able to function in normal ways anymore. I'm so glad that God, source, inner guidance, all of those tools came together for me and brought me down a path that put me where I'm at right now. Like I said, I have a short story in the Manifesting Miracles book that Zara Mahon put out recently. I'm writing my own book. I'm I'm talking on YouTube, who'd have ever thought? I'm talking on Facebook, who'd have ever thought? And I'm looking at my retirement as a working retirement, working in ways that will bring me passion and joy and help other people, but do it in a way that feels good to me. And I want to see that for everybody. So my hand is out to help other people up, knowing that it has to be when somebody reaches up, because you don't put your hand in somebody's face. They don't want that. But when is it enough? I hope for everybody today it's enough to take that one step, because what's out there in this world is unlimited. I'm learning that every single day. And that's Zara Mahoon's book, so I'll put that in the comments. But this life is unlimited. The opportunities and experiences are unlimited. Everything in my life has become bigger and bigger and bigger and more exciting and more fun. And I want that for everybody. I want everybody to open up and clear out the cobwebs and let themselves walk into a more exciting, more hopeful, and a life full of love and happiness. So thank you for being here. Have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.